The following is a paid program. The views and opinions are those of the hosts and callers, and not those of FM 104.5, AM 540 WFLA, its management, or advertisers. The latest news and a place to talk about it. WFLA.
Welcome to Talking Old School. Guys, welcome back to Talking Old School with Roger Franklin Williams. Great to be with you on a beautiful Thursday night throughout Central Florida. A nice fall night, first Thursday in October. First of all, I want to welcome all old schoolers, but I want to give a special shout out to all the Florida Gators who've been listening to Gator Hotline with Coach Will Muschamp. Talking Old School is a Gator-friendly zone. In fact, we have a special series devoted to Florida Gator football, the Old School Gator series. But tonight, we've got a very special program for you. We're going to get right into it right now. In fact, we are pleased to be joined in the studio by Debbie Turner, founder of the Debbie Turner Cancer Care and Resource Center. And there's a huge event taking place this Saturday at Beef O'Brady's in Apopka, an all-day block party, which will feature, among other things, will feature Nashville recording artists, including Johnny Bulford. And in fact, Johnny Bulford is joining us live in the studio right now on Talking Old School, and he'll be there for the next hour. So that's gonna be a major topic of our program. Might have another guest or two for you as well. I want to also let you know that Kaylee, UCF Kaylee, is not here with us, but she very possibly will be calling in, and I certainly hope she is, because I want to. I want to give her some concerning this upcoming Apopka Blue Darter West Orange football game coming up Friday night, and we're going to debate to see who's going to win that. Who we both feel is going to win that game, and of course I'll be advocating for my Apopka Blue Darters. And we may even hear a word or two from Coach Darlington along the way if we can track him down. So anyway, that's what's on tap for Talking Old School tonight. But right now, let's go ahead and welcome Debbie Turner back to Talking Old School. Debbie, it's great to see you again, and I'm looking forward to the events on Saturday.
Well, thank you, first of all, for having us here, and thank you, Johnny, for taking the time to come into the studio with us.
Of course.
The event's Saturday, October 5th at Beef O'Brady's.
And why don't you go ahead and introduce your special guest for us?
Very special guest, all the way from Nashville. Actually, he was born and raised here locally and then has made it big in Nashville. Johnny Bulford, who will be one of the artists playing that night for our concert. And go ahead.
Well, it's always great to be back here in town. I did grow up down the road in the Conway area. And, it was very good luck on my part to be born and raised in a great vacation spot, because I just tell the people at Warner that I have to go see my family or go do a show, and I get to go to Florida. So it works out real well.
Yeah, Daytona Beach, I heard.
Well, Debbie and Johnny, why don't you just start and give us refresh us on the mission of the Debbie Turner Cancer Care and Resource Center. I know you're a frequent guest on our show, but at the same time, we have brand new listeners listening every single week. And actually, you haven't joined us since we made the move over to 540 WFLA and FM 104.5. So can you give us a brief overview of the mission of the Debbie Turner Cancer Care and Resource Center?
Our mission is to eliminate suffering from cancer patients and their families. Completely free services. We're a 501(c) nonprofit that provides like wigs, bras, prosthesis, food boxes, blankets. We pretty much do just about anything. Our big event this Saturday is raising money because the Cancer Center is giving away 200 free mammograms to our local community, which will cost us about $7,000. So we're giving every penny of that back to have mammograms given to our local community.
And of course, we got a large variety of recording artists will be there. Johnny Bulford, of course, who's with us tonight. Tom Jackson will be there. Bryan Buchanan, who we might hear from later tonight on our program, and Jeff Hurst as well. It's just going to be a great event of a lot of fun, a lot of other fun activities happening. And I want everybody to know it's happening this Saturday at Beef O'Brady's Apopka. That's 1410 North Rock Springs Road, Apopka, at the corner of Welch Road. And then it's an all-day block party. Be kicking off around 9 a.m. and well into the night.
Well into the night, yeah, as long as it takes.
And Debbie, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got to meet Johnny and how Johnny became, and maybe Johnny can tell us how he became interested and in the Debbie Turner Center.
I don't really know if he even remembers this. I work for special needs children in Orange County for 40 years. He's probably going to be very shocked when he hears this. And I worked at what they call Magnolia School, which is a center school for profound mentally handicapped. And the Russell home, Mrs. Russell, I took care of her kids and educated them. And she was a very good friend of mine. And when she passed away, you sang at her funeral.
I did. That was
the first time I ever met you.
That was back in high school.
Yes, it was.
I still work with them. I've done a few events for them. They're a great organization. And my cousin Donna she had cerebral palsy, and I met them through Primrose, is where she used to go.
She went to go.
And I met all the kids there. I still stop by and play them songs. Actually, Kim is one of the kids over there, and she used to be a huge Elvis fan. And I'm proud to say I've replaced Elvis on the walls in her room. So
very impressive.
That's very
impressive.
Cool.
And in fact, friends, guys and gals, we just might hear from Johnny tonight on the guitar on our show. So anyway, we're going to hit our first break. When we come back, we will have more with Debbie Turner from the Debbie Turner Cancer and Care and Resource Center, with national recording artist and songwriter Johnny Bulford, and a lot of other great guests as well. So stay with us. You're listening to Talking Old School with Roger Franklin Williams. We'll be right back. Let's go back to Debbie, and we were talking. I'd like for Johnny, Debbie, to share a little bit with our audience about his journey, his career path, and his journey in Nashville, because that, as we all know, that's one of the more difficult career paths, one of the more difficult journeys.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
And you've been very successful thus far in your very young career. Can you just tell us a little bit about your career?
Well, it was one of those things I never could get away from. I started writing when I was about 13 years old, and I come from a family of musicians and singers, and I started playing in a band when I was about 16, 17, and the whole time doing school, and I always did pretty well in school, and always thought I was gonna go get that college degree and get a real job, but. While I was in college, I won a singing competition called the Colquitt Country Showdown, and along with that came a nice big old prize check and enough money to travel back and forth to Nashville a few times, and in a year I did that 9 times and ended up signing with Warner Chappell, which is Warner Brothers Publishing Company, and. Since then, that was about 5 years ago. Since then, I've written "Woman Like You" for Lee Brice, and that went number 1. I wrote "Flashlight" for Chris Young, which is on his last record, and I also have a song on Chris's most recent record that just came out. So I'm building up the catalog as a writer and still plugging away as an artist, and it's a job that never ends. You can always do better and always reach higher. So
has that always been country music?
It's evolved a lot. I have a country voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
true.
very country, but it's just country enough.
It's modern country.
Yeah.
Hey, there's absolutely nothing wrong with country music.
I love country music. Why do you think they're all country artists on my event?
But it started as gospel. I started singing in church.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty smooth transition.
We went to Coach Darlington. We were talking to Johnny about getting started, how you got started in your career, winning a talent contest, kind of something that was really not part of your career plan. Can you talk to us a little bit, and before we go to break, about one thing I think is interesting about your career at the moment is you still have goals to be a recording artist, and you are a recording artist, but you also have had tremendous success as a songwriter. Yeah. Do you continue to go plan to go down both of those paths?
Oh, absolutely. I do shows on the weekends, but my normal job throughout the week is to go in and write songs for other artists and for myself. And a lot of the artists, they do that. They go in and write, and they all have publishing deals as well. It's writing is something I just was gonna do either way, and I won't say that I have it figured out, but I don't know if anybody has it figured out. I like coming up with a new way of saying something that people want to hear, and words have always been one of my favorite things to mess around with. So
I've got a question for you. I've always kind of wondered, when I'm a aficionado of music, especially country music, and really when you hear a great song, it's really, in my opinion, it's the songwriter's song, and not so much the artist. And of course, the artist generally gets most of the credit for it. Is it? What's it like to have somebody else sing your words and your creation?
Well, sometimes we write the songs with the artists, and in the two big cases for me, A Woman Like You and Now Lonely Eyes with Chris, they were outside cuts. And Lee Brice is one of the best writers. He had Garth Brooks cuts before he became an artist and had his own career. And he had cuts across the board. He was a writer for years in Nashville before he, got his own record deal. And Chris Young writes most of his hits, if not all. I think there's one or two that he isn't on, but he's all over his album. He's a great writer. So to have someone like them pick your song, it's really a great feeling, especially two great singers like them. They're so good. They're all your songs are your babies, and you hope that somebody's doing them that can do them the way you intended them, and those two have definitely done that.
We could do a whole show on the song "A Woman Like You," which has been a big hit, recorded by Lee Brice. Because I remember literally the first time I ever heard that song, I'm like, that sounds exactly like me and my girlfriend, basically.
Well, it's funny. My girlfriend, she's down here in town with me. She lives in Nashville. She's an unbelievable singer and artist, Janelle Wheeler.
She was
she was on American
Idol.
Yeah, she's
and a Popka High School graduate.
She was a cheerleader for Popka. Yeah. And she's right down the road. As soon as I get done here, I'm going to go see her. But I wrote A Woman Like You about her. It's
cool.
All about her. If anybody knows her, they know that she is a woman like you. And but yeah, she's great.
Play.
What's awesome, maybe you can play a little bit when we come back from our break.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Guys, gals, we're getting ready to hit our next break on Talking Old School tonight. I want to thank you for joining us on this very special program. If you're just joining us, we just heard from a Popka Blue Darter football coach, Rick Darlington, about the big district game with West Orange tomorrow night. We're joined in the studio by Debbie Turner, founder of the Debbie Turner Cancer Care and Resource Center. We're promoting the huge block party that's going to take place October the 5th, Saturday. All day long at Beef O'Brady's in Apopka, 1410 North Rock Springs Road, the corner of Welch Road. And we're joined in studio by Johnny Bulford, Nashville recording artist and songwriter. When we come back, we just might hear a little of Johnny's work. So stay with us. You're listening to Talking Old School. Debbie, why don't you ask Johnny what he's going to play for us?
Okay. You're on the spot. What are you going to play for me?
Well, I said earlier I wrote A Woman Like You about Janelle. I also wrote one a little bit after that one, another one about her, and it's called On My Way to You.
Okay, I have a question before you start. Is she your inspiration?
Oh, yeah, she's been an inspiration for a long time.
That's cool.
But all right, here we go. Sorry, honey, what'd you say again? I could lie, but I ain't got a clue. I was just remembering everywhere I've been on my way to you. I used to think that I was all but lost. Baby, when you kiss me like you I know I'm where I belong. I wasn't lost at all, only on my way to you. Every time love took a turn, and every time it crashed and burned, it's the thought of you that held me up again. Long before I saw your face, even in my wilder days, I was praying you were just around the bend. Heaven knows I felt a broken heart. I even might have broke a couple too. But every time I'd run, because they weren't the one, I was on my way to you. Every time love took a turn, and every time it crashed and burned, it's the thought of you that held me up again. Long before I saw your face, even in my wilder days, I was praying you were just around the bend. I could second guess my whole dang life, but you make it impossible to do. Girl, I don't have one regret, knowing that I've always been on my way to you. On my way to you.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. I think I got an idea who should record that one. I think you should record that one.
I think so. And then it should go to the top of the charts real quick.
Yeah, don't let anybody else have that one.
Well, I'll try not to. You know, a cut's a cut, and you know, you can always write another one.
Friends, you're listening to Talking Old School, and of course that was Johnny Bulford with a great new song that he's got, and we appreciate you sharing that with us, Johnny. And now, also, let's go ahead and we have another special guest that's joining us right now on our show as well, and that's via telephone, and that's Bryan Buchanan. And Bryan will also be performing at the Big Block Party at Beef O'Brady's this Saturday, 1410 North Rock Springs Road, Apopka, corner of Welch Road, to benefit the Debbie Turner Cancer Care and Resource Center, and to help kick off Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And let's go to Bryan Buchanan right now. Hello, Bryan. Thank you for joining us on Talking Old School.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey.
Hey, Debbie. Nice song there, Johnny. It's great to follow a song like that, man. You're supposed to follow me.
I appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to playing together. I hope you. Well, you know, I'm sure he noticed that I messed up a little bit, but
I never noticed.
Sounded great as usual. Man. Sounded great.
We're not critics. You can sing whenever, both of you.
Bryan, tell us a little bit about your appearance this Saturday at the Big Block Party at Beef O'Brady's, and about your your efforts to help Debbie Turner and the Debbie Turner Cancer Care Resource Center and cancer research in general.
Well, with Debbie, it's a lot like Johnny. I know Johnny's granny survived breast cancer, and same with mine. Mine was a breast cancer survivor, and just a year back, I had a niece who died of cervical cancer, and it was shortly after that Debbie came along, and she asked me to play at one of her events, and I was more than happy to support cancer. You know, who can't step up and support something like that?
And can you tell us, we've been talking to Johnny about his career, and can you talk a little bit about your career path? Because as we talked about, and I guess almost everybody knows, just the music profession, to earn a living, to make a name in the country, in music in general, especially country music, is a grueling, difficult process. Can you talk about your journey and your career?
My journey has been long, a lot longer than Johnny's. Johnny's got the talent. People like me, you know, I've been in music pretty much all my life. I've been involved with it. I can think back to the first time I was ever on stage. It was kindergarten, playing a xylophone during a Christmas recital.
I never learned how to play that one, man.
That's the first thing I learned how to play. It was Joy to the World. I was in kindergarten in front of a couple hundred people on stage. I just never got enough of it.
It is in your blood. I can't sing, but I love country music. And when the radio's on in the car, I sing very loud so no one can hear me. But it's in your blood, I think. It is. Now,
the difference is I grew up in the 80s, so I confuse people when I'm up on stage, and I'll be playing some George Strait or Alan Jackson. Next thing you know, I'm playing Motley Crue or Van Halen or something. People look at me like, except I do it with a twang, you know. It's the redneck.
But you wouldn't be confusing me. You'd just be getting me out of my chair.
We'll be doing some stage diving Saturday, I'm sure.
Oh, boy.
Especially if I get some drinks in me. I'm kind of sipping a little sip right now. So.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. And guys and gals, you're listening to Talking Old School, and we have a special edition of Talking Old School. We're joined in studio by Debbie Turner of the Debbie Turner Cancer and Care and Resource Center. She's the founder of the Debbie Turner Cancer Care and Resource Center. We're helping to kick off Breast Cancer Awareness Month on Talking Old School. We're joined in the studio by Johnny Bulford, Nashville recording artist and hit songwriter, and we're pleased to be joined right now over the phone by Bryan K. Buchanan. Johnny and Bryan will be out at the block party this Saturday at Beef O'Brady's to help raise money for the Debbie Turner Cancer and Care Resource Center. They'll also be joined by Tom Jackson and by Jeff Hurst as well, and there'll be a lot of other fun things going on this Saturday at Beef O'Brady's in Apopka. Also, and it's an all-day block party starting about 9 a.m. Until into the night. We're going to hit a break right now, and we'll come back for more. We're talking old school with Johnny Bulford, Bryan K. Buchanan, and Debbie Turner. Who knows? We might even hear from UCF Kaylee before it's all over. So stay with us. I know that is Bryan still holding? Yep. Bryan Buchanan, I'd like to ask you, Bryan, I want to thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you Saturday. Can you talk to us a little? You were sharing a little bit about your career. Can you share some of your influences in your music and in your career?
Oh, totally. Johnny Bulford, man. That's my biggest fan.
And how much did he pay you?
Check's in the mail, man. Thank you.
Well, like I was saying earlier, I grew up in the 80s, but I grew up around a household that was nothing but Eddie Rabbitt and Waylon Jennings and Merle Haggard and, you know, old school country. And even though I got into this stuff in the 80s with the hair bands and stuff, I just, you know, country never left my heart.
Tell him the truth. Your dad has a great voice, too.
Yes, he does. He likes singing a little Eddie Rabbitt. I might even get him up on stage this Saturday. Who knows?
Ooh.
He's going to be on stage in a pink tutu.
I wouldn't go broadcasting.
Too bad, I just did.
It's going to be a lot of fun. All these guys are going to be there this Saturday. Johnny Bulford will be there. Bryan K. Buchanan will be performing. As we heard from his father might even be out there performing. Tom Jackson, who's not joining us but will be there Saturday, and Jeff Hurst, who's on a flight right now coming down from Nashville. It's all at the big block party at Beef O'Brady's this Saturday. All day long, start about 9 a.m., finish up probably late into the night on Saturday evening. And it's located 1410 North Rock Springs Road, Apopka, very easy to find, corner of Wells Road. And it's all proceeds go to benefit the Debbie Turner Cancer and Care and Resource Center and to help fight cancer and help alleviate the suffering of cancer victims and their families. Debbie, we're nearing the end of our show. First of all, let me thank you for putting together such a great lineup. What a blockbuster lineup on Talking Old School.
They're my heroes. They're, as much as I suffered through my disease, like I said, you always turn the radio on and country music was there. And every once in a while I would hear songs like from Johnny or Jeff, and I was like, yeah, I can still do this. They've made it big so I can survive cancer. So, yeah. It's one of my bucket lists. A lot of people don't understand when you go through a disease, you kind of make wishes and promises. And it was one of my bucket lists to bring them all home and have a local hometown concert. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
Johnny, thanks for joining us once again. It's Look forward to seeing you Saturday night.
Man, I'm very excited about this weekend. I think I'm going to have to step up my game, though, if Buchanan's going to be jumping off the stage and his dad's going to have a tutu on.
A pink tutu.
It'll be totally alcohol-induced, trust me.
And Bryan, it's been great to meet you over the telephone. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
You too, sir.
Thank you, dear.
And Debbie, we didn't get a chance to talk too much about your personal journey, but I think it's important before we go to let everybody know that you are a cancer survivor yourself, and you've walked that walk during your life, and that's really been your motivation and your inspiration for creating the Debbie Turner Cancer and Care and Resource Center.
Yeah, that's how it started. I'm actually a 17-year survivor, only 3 years in remission of brain cancer. After 5 surgeries, 6 bouts of chemo, 7 bouts of radiation, and then they did a treatment into the brain. I have actually been in remission for 3 years, and I have to make the 5-year mark, which is 2 years from February, to be cancer-free. So I'm one of 3% of the brain cancer patients here in the state of Florida that have lived. So that's why the center's open.
And can you briefly tell us before we go just a little bit about the center? We focus tonight mostly on the party and the fundraiser, but just a word or two about what you do at the center.
Well, the center provides free service to our local community. Any family who walks in, we provide not only for the survivor, but for the whole family. We have toys, food baskets, bras, transportation, medication. We pay for some treatments, just about anything it takes so that they can focus on their treatment. We have support groups. I have 4 high school kids right now, girls who have breast cancer, 2 at Apopka and 2 at Wekiva, that we regularly visit and make sure that they're taken care of. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming to share with us, and thank you for the great work that you do every single day. And thanks for helping us put together this great show. And, Johnny, any closing words that you might have?
Well, y'all be ready this weekend because we are.
We are. Yep, we are.
And I want to give a special shout out to Tom Benson, who's done a great job as our producer tonight, juggling guests right and left all throughout the show. And, of course, Coach Rick Darlington for joining us. And it's always great to hear from UCF Kaylee. And Debbie, when are things getting started, and what are things kicking off with on Saturday?
We're just going to go all day. There's the 50-50 raffle. There's a Chinese auction. There's a silent auction. There'll be guys in tutus and pink leotards. There's the golf cart. It's just going to be a big, fun party. My whole thing is that if you go through any type of disease, it's fun to let loose and just enjoy yourself. So this is going to be a day for the whole community just to come out and enjoy themselves. Good food, good drinks, just about anything. Vendors. So, yeah.